Yeah, welcome back to DXB today. Hope you're enjoying the show. Very much a design-inspired show today as we celebrate all forms of design here in Dubai and further afield in the UAE. And with us now is the founder and the creative director of Styled Habitat. Rabah Saeid joins us now live on the show. Thank you so much indeed for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Really kind of you, and with a big announcement as well. Downtown Design just around the corner. Downtown Design this year obviously attracting so much talent. You are unveiling something very special. I understand there is something of a Nordic theme. Tell us more.
It's the Nordic Cabin. We're very excited to be collaborating with Nordic Homeworks, a brand that is been here for over 20 years, and they are representing Cars hardwood flooring, a company with 160 years old heritage and craftsmanship. So we're excited to unveil this sort of experience stand and to bring something very Swedish into the middle of the fair and to create a bit of an escapism for people that visit.
Bringing Scandinavia to the desert, yeah?
Exactly. Why not?
It's such an interesting pairing because you have this sort of Scandi kind of look and aesthetic and culture, and then obviously with your roots as well. I would be interested to know, how did you sort of marry those two together in the installation?
It boils down to basically values. So at Style Habitat, our design studio, we're rooted in creating personal and experiential design. So to partner with Nordic Homeworks was a no-brainer. They represent so many things that speak to the core of the value of Style Habitat, whether it's craftsmanship, integrity of materials, human connection. These are all philosophy that really are within the fabric of our studio. So to bring both elements to the fair was a sort of a natural progression to our ongoing partnership with Nordic Homeworks. In 2024, we designed their showroom and offices here in Dubai. And by bringing the cabin, we get to invite the rest of Dubai and the UAE to visit and kind of have a glimpse of what the Swedish traditions are and craftsmanship. And that's the part that we're most excited about, is to create this environment where people can come in and completely be enveloped with it, but it doesn't take away from the context of what the fair is about and highlighting a lot of the values that we all here in the UAE are kind of all about, whether it's hospitality or sense of respect of heritage. These are all things, even though they're worlds apart, Sweden and the UAE, but they're actually in their values are very aligned.
I think it's a beautiful marriage of the Scandinavian and Middle Eastern design traditions, and I think it'll be fascinating to see, of course. My question to you is, sustainability and storytelling is central to your work. So how does the Nordic Cabin reflect those values?
Well, at Style Habitat, we view sustainability not just with material, but also the longevity of an experience and creating a design that is more lasting with people. So in this particular cabin, the wood that we're using is all reclaimed wood, and I don't want to say too much, but even the cabin itself is going to have lives after downtown. And again, we're just showcasing how you can take heritage, craftsmanship, natural material in an innovative way and showcasing them to people that they come so close to the material in a very interesting way, but a very human way. So when you enter into the cabin, we want you to be transported into the Swedish forest, but at the same time you're really experiencing all the elements that make it very special, whether it's the scent of the timber, whether it's the beautiful ambient soundscape that we're creating, whether it's the textures within the space, and also the hospitality. Like, people will be able to actually experience all of these touch points within the cabin, and it becomes more than just a showcase for product, but we are all moving into these areas where design is not just a feature, but sort of an environment that you become part of and interact with it.
So it's my understanding that the installation has Cars products in it for
Correct.
part of a multi-sensory experience
Exactly.
for visitors. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and what can people experience?
My hope is that the moment visitors step into the cabin, sort of like time slows down. You are completely transported into this sort of very earthy, grounded, warm, textural experience. You will be able to smell the wood and the scent of it. You'll be able to hear a beautiful soundscape of a forest. You'll be able to experience heritage and craftsmanship from the furniture that we've created, mostly Scandinavian brands. But also there's a lot of other touch points. We're bringing also collaborators and partners into the design, whether it is in the, and by the way, all the brands that we're bringing are brands or partners that are born out of the UAE, whether it's Frontieriers with their door fronts, whether it's Biscuit Supplies and them championing natural materials, whether it's Icon House curated an incredible collection of Scandinavian furniture, beautiful soundscape, and of course this won't all come to life without incredible lighting. So we are bringing Via Bisuno to really highlight the textures and sort of draw your eyes to the details that matter within the space. But of course, to make it even more sort of like warm and homey, we will be offering Swedish pastries on antique plates and vintage linens. So you are going to be completely transported into this world that we're creating and taking you into a cabin in the woods in Sweden.
Oh,
But no Swedish meatballs, no?
I was going to say,
I love the idea of
Well,
being
you'll have to
immersed in,
come and
like,
see.
We'll have to come and see.
You'll
We'll
have to come and see.
Just want to get your thoughts, Tesh, on this, because it's really interesting. Again, a lot of people out there who might not be designers, might not work in the design world, but they'll think of design as a touch and feel, a sight sort of thing. But what we're hearing is design's become so much more experiential. Again, is that something you're seeing more of?
100%, and this is just a perfect example of that. Obviously in downtown design there's over 300 participants, and in typical trade fairs you do tend to see maybe in the past more kind of this is my product and that's it, but now we're seeing such rich storytelling, and also it's so great when you have these collaborations that happen where you have these married ethos between a designer and a brand, so that it's just told in a very organic, non-forced way. And I think people want that now. They want experiential, something that's human-centered, and brands are getting that as well, and then it just becomes a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it is becoming. Is story key now when it comes to design? Has it always been key, or are we seeing it's more key these days?
It is very much overall, but especially in Style Habitat. I always say we start with understanding the context. And the context is not just the geographical location of the place, it's also understanding the value of a family, a brand. Those are elements that are sort of like the DNA makers of anything that we design. So in understanding that, then you curate the experience around that. We always try to imagine a mood or a moment within a space and use that as a muse that informs our design. Because at the end of the day, all spaces in interiors are supposed to make us feel comfortable, give us a sense of belonging, and always if you put those sort of sprinkled moments of familiarity, you will instantly feel like you belong to the space. So these are all things that we really value in my studio, and we try to invoke in every design that we work on. So I'm excited for what we are doing with Nordic Homeworks and the partners that are coming on board as well. And I just can't wait for people to come in and have a moment where they get to slow down and kind of like immerse themselves in this experience before they can continue their journey in the beautiful fair that we have upcoming.